We've got baseball, basketball, and football in this week's top 5, including a player in the top 5 who might be on the cold list soon, plus the number 1, honestly had me pretty surprised. I'm breaking it all down to you in today's top 5. Hey everyone, welcome back to another Top 5 Tuesday. My name is Tyler Nethercott, better known as Teapot, filling in for Jeff this week, and I've got a great list for you. Today's Top 5 is sponsored by Whatnot. Whatnot has awesome live auctions every day and night, starting at just $1 for packs, boxes, breaks, singles, and more. It's a lot of fun, and if you scan the QR code on your screen or use the special link in our show description below, you'll get $15 in free credit when you sign up for Whatnot. Now let's take a look at the overall sports card market with Market Pulse by Market Movers. Over the last 7 days, the SCI 500 index of 500 of the most prominent sports cards is up 0.3%. Over the last 30 days, the SCI 500 is down 1.1%, and since January 1st of 2025, it is up 4.1%. The best performing category of cards over the last 30 days is soccer from 2010 to 2017, which is up 19.6%. And the worst performing category is hockey from that same time frame, which is down 10.7%. As a reminder, the cards you'll see in today's show have gone up in price recently, but they are not necessarily good investments right now. Do your own research to decide which cards you think will go up in value next. All right, starting out with our cold card this week, and it is the right fielder for the Kansas City Royals, formerly on the hot list. That is Jack Caglianone, who has faced struggles, to say the least, since joining the Kansas City Royals at the major league level. After impressing in the minors with a strong hitting and power, he has found it really challenging to adjust to MLB pitching. Through his first 85 at-bats, Caglianone is batting just .157 with only 2 home runs, barely above 200 on-base percentage, kind of showing some issues with timing and pitch recognition. The bat speed has been strong, but he's not squaring up, and he doesn't seem to be seeing those pitches well at the big league level. Now, despite these early setbacks, the Royals are obviously remaining patient. They're confident that with more experience, Caglianone will overcome these hurdles and fulfill his potential to be another great alongside Bobby Witt and others on that Royals roster. All of Caglianone's cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are now down 16.9% collectively over the last 30 days on 112 different cards, totaling 648 sales. Now, that didn't stop somebody from setting a record on Caglianone cards recently with the Pod Paracha Bowman Chrome First Prospect Auto Sapphire, all the words. This was a BGS 10 Auto 10 that Parker and I on my data team actually tried to predict the value of before the auction on my recent Market Movers video, and both of us were way off. I think Parker said like 18K, I said 35. This thing went for $63,000. So at the highest of the high-end market for Caglianone, definitely still red hot in spite of the slow start. But the rest of his market, as we shift over, not so much. You can see I like to use the price changes by percentage screen here, and you can see that the prices have been declining for Caglianone. I'm going to zoom this in just a little bit so we can get a closer look. And this is his Bowman Draft First. You can see over the last 30 days declining, now most recently at $274. The 30-day average on this was $407, and 30 days ago, $525. So this card has chopped basically in half in price over the last 30 days with that slow start. Now, if you watch my data dive videos on the Market Movers channel, or a lot of the videos where Jeff and I discuss this, when it comes to prospecting, you got to kind of sell the hype at the call up and then wait for the cool down. And now, if you believe in Caglianone long term, you'd be much better off typically, obviously, buying at $274 than you would have 30 days ago at the hype, at the peak, buying at $525. It's not financial advice, I'm not telling you to buy him. I'm just saying the timing thing there is a very consistent pattern with these big league players. Here's another instance. This is his Bowman First Sapphire PSA 10. This one's now at $228. This one actually peaked out a little bit later, a little bit more of a lagging indicator from the time he got called up. This one peaked out at $361, so that's actually down 30-day average, 12.6%. But if we look at the 14-day average, down a little bit more than that. We've got his Bowman Chrome First Refractor, Pop 500 so far. There will be more of these. This one's down 26.2%. And then last but not least, we've got his Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto. This is not his first. This is the 2025. So I call these the tweener cards, the tweener prospect cards. And this one is actually down 35% over the last 30 days. So Cags, not off to the start that Royals fans and other people holding his cards were hoping for. There's still a lot of time for him in the bigs. Will he get it together? You let me know down in the comments. He is our cold card this week. All right, shifting gears to our investment card this week. It's the 1980 top scoring leaders, Larry Bird, Julius Erving, Magic Johnson. And this 1980 scoring leader card features obviously 3 NBA legends, especially from that era in Bird, Dr. J, and Magic. Each of these players was among the league's top scorers during the 1979-80 season, showcasing their scoring prowess and star power early in their careers. And it's really these 3 guys who set the table, along with Kareem, I would say, who set the table leading up to Michael Jordan, to saving the NBA, to turning things around completely. Because believe it or not, there was an era when the NBA was kind of like on the rocks. People were like, is this league gonna make it? Do Americans, do people really care about basketball? And then you got these Showtime superstars who showed up and helped spark and rejuvenate the league. League struggling a little bit more today. Will there be another Bird, Magic, Dr. J, or somebody else to help carry the torch? That remains to be seen. But I always chuckle when I look at cards like this on these charts. I'm looking at the last sale chart in Market Movers, which is just a bar chart showing the price comparisons. And if I look at this PSA 10, Pop 24, you can see the price premium that people will pay for this. Now, I would say this card, in my opinion, second most, maybe third most iconic basketball card of all time. You can get into the debate. I think the Fleer Jordan 86 is number 1. And then you get into some LeBrons, maybe with his Topps Chrome and his exquisite RPA. This one's got to be in the top 5 on anybody's list, hence the price premium at $500,000 for a PSA 10. But if I check this off, look at the price drop when you get down to a PSA 9, of which there are 627. Still not cheap. Still out of my price range at $15,400. You go down to an 8, now you're at $26,094. And the nice thing about Market Movers, I can pop this open and I can look at all these different prices very easily and see where can I afford to get into one of these. PSA 6, $698. So now you're starting to talk about something that might be a little bit more affordable for you to find and get into. And if you are looking for one of these, you could probably track one of them down at the National, which is at the end of the month in Chicago. We're really excited because we just gave away a free all expenses trip paid to the National as part of our Market Movers membership program. So if you want to get in on that next year, make sure you are looking at Market Movers. This week, our investment card, the 1980 Topps Bird, Dr. J, Magic Johnson scoring leaders. All right, now we get to the list that you've all been waiting for, and that is the hot cards. And at number 5, it is Dylan Harper, the guard for the now San Antonio Spurs, son of former NBA player Ron Harper. Dylan Harper is entering the NBA with high expectations after being selected 2nd overall by the Spurs in the 2025 NBA Draft. Harper averaged 19.4 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 4 assists in his freshman season at Rutgers, showcasing strength, playmaking, and the ability to attack the rim. At 6'6", 215 pounds, Harper brings a lot of versatility and toughness to the Spurs backcourt, though his outside shooting remains a key area to watch. As he prepares for the Summer League action, Harper is viewed as a foundational piece alongside Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio's rebuild. All of Harper's cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are up 17.1% collectively over the last 30 days, and a lot of those cards being the Bowman firsts, which is nice. The Bowman Chrome cards that came out, it's nice that we now have this kind of runway. People are starting to gravitate a little bit more into Bowman U, and you can see the chart trending up on a lot of these cards. So I'll pop this open. Here's his Red Wave refractor auto, numbered to 45 raw. This one is up 36% over the last 30 days. We've got his Bowman Chrome University first raw Black Wave refractor. This one's up to $115. You could have gotten this one a month ago for $82 or even as low as $66. A couple more cards to look at. We've got his Bowman Prospect Auto Refractor first, raw condition. This one's up to $71, starting to taper off maybe a little bit, which if you look at this like the prospecting in baseball, it's different because typically there's a longer runway in baseball, though Caglione was a quick call-up. We've got, these basketball cards that come out while these guys are in college. It's another speculation thing that people like to go, okay, I know Harper's going to be a top pick. He's probably going to be 2nd or 3rd. I'm going to buy and scoop his cards a month out in advance for $46, and then he gets drafted second overall, and somebody's selling this for $95 on eBay. Here's one more. We've got his Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto first. It's just the base first raw. That one's up 34.4%. And then lastly, just his base PSA 10 base card That one even up to $36. You could have gotten that one for 26 bucks a month ago. So Dylan Harper, let me know what you think about him. Obviously, we've been hit or miss with some of these top picks in recent years in the NBA drafts. Do you think Harper is going to be a feature piece in the Spurs rebuild, or is he a bust? You let me know down in the comments below. All right, at number 4, it is Andy Pajes, the center fielder for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I seem to remember him being on this list last year when I was covering for Jeff, so he's making the rounds and getting his name back out there. Now, Pajes is stepping up as a key outfielder for the Dodgers this season. After a slow start in April, he has delivered a breakout stretch since early May, highlighted by an NL Player of the Week honor. Despite competing for a ton of at-bats, honestly, in a crowded outfield for the Dodgers, Pajes is hitting .291 with 16 home runs and 55 RBIs through late June, earning serious all-star consideration. As the Dodgers battle for the NL West title, Pajes' all-around production and growing leadership are becoming essential to their playoff hopes. All of his cards as tracked by Market Movers are up 27.2% collectively over the last 30 days on 90 different cards totaling 200 sales. And we got a good little sampling here. We're going to start out with his Bowman Chrome Prospect Auto first. You know these cards. This one just on a rocket ship up to the moon. Raw a month ago, 40 bucks. And now most recently shooting all the way up to $140 and $190 respectively. In PSA 10, if we pop this open, it looks like it's still hovering at 135. So we see this sometimes with this leading and lagging indicators where depending on what's available, the supply on eBay and other platforms, prices don't always keep on par. It'd be really interesting to see what that 10 sells for next, knowing that this one is climbing the moon in a raw condition. All right, now we've got his Bowman Chrome Update Sapphire Edition, autograph, numbered to 199. This is his rookie card, raw. This one's up 53.4%, most recent sale, $115. We're gonna look at his real one auto, the blue ink, not the red ink, and this one in raw condition, up 136%. This is out of 2024 Heritage High number. This one you could have gotten a month ago for 38 bucks, which if you're a Dodgers fan as a collector card is great value, but obviously now it's shooting up. And I always wonder if you are a fan of these players when they spike, what's your sentiment around this? Do you ever sell the cards and then just buy them back later when they cool down? I have a really hard time with that. I very rarely end up doing that in spite of what my mind tells me. That's something that I got into a debate with recently with somebody, and I'd love to know what your opinion is on that. Here's his Radiating Rookies raw. This card is actually up from to $45, so not a huge price point raw. Jeff is a big fan of these cards. And this one from 22 bucks a month ago up to 45 is a 100% increase. And then lastly, we've got his Topps Archives auto rookie card, the 1999 New Breed autographs throwback. This one up to $40, that's a 167% increase. So at number 4 this week is Andy Pajes. All right, at number 3 this week, it is Chase Burns, and what a start for Chase Burns. His first couple of innings in the big leagues, and then not so much since then. The starting pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds recently got his first taste of big league hitting after being called up by the Cincinnati Reds last week. He impressed in his MLB debut on June 24th to start the game, striking out 8 batters, including the first 5 that he faced in a dominant 5-inning outing against the Yankees. One name amongst those that got people pretty excited was striking out Aaron Judge. Now, his second start on June 30 was a little more difficult as he lasted just 1/3 of an inning against the Red Sox and gave up 7 runs, 5 earned, including a grand slam. Despite the early struggles, the Reds remain committed to Burns and view him as a key rotational piece with frontline potential. He's just got nasty, nasty stuff. He's just got to get the command. He's got to locate his pitches. We see this a lot from young guys when they get called up. Got to figure out how to get the control. Who knows if he'll actually do it, but he's got the stuff to be very dominant in this league. All of Burns' cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are up 61.7% collectively over the last 30 days. And we're going to take a look here. Here's his Sapphire first. Obviously beautiful cards. This in PSA 10 condition is up 75%, up to 140 bucks over the last 30 days. And what I want to point out here, actually on this chart, as we look at this, let's pop this one open and look at this condition. This card in raw condition is Bowman Draft Chrome First Auto. This one starting to come back down. And this is why I alluded to a card earlier that this could be the next Caglione. He gets the call up. Here he goes, peaks up at 176 bucks on this card, which by the way was $63 just a month ago. And now it's coming all the way back down to $114. So this card up 79%. Still over the last 30 days, big price appreciation, but it was up to $176, which was a 178% increase. So if you bought here at the hype after he was feigning Yankees, now it's starting to come back down to earth. So it wouldn't be surprising to me to see Burns next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out maybe, as that cold card, just because that's kind of what tends to happen. Here's his Bowman Chrome Refractor first, PSA 10 condition. This one up to $118, 71%, actually $98 in the most recent sale, so a 42% increase. And then we've got his Bowman Best, Best of 24 autographs, raw. This one actually still steadily climbing for the most part, maybe starting to peak back out, most recently at $84. 178% increase. So at number 3 this week, Cincinnati Reds pitcher Chase Burns. All right, at number 2 this week, it's Didier Fuentes, the starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, and Fuentes is beginning to emerge as a promising young arm for the Braves, much like Burns for the Reds, earning his second MLB start on June 25 against the Mets. At 20 years old, he's shown impressive pitch variety, throwing 5 innings with a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio. However, he does have an 0-2 record with a 10.8 ERA. Braves manager Brian Snitker expressed continued confidence in Fuentes and confirmed that he will receive another opportunity in the rotation. Now, as Atlanta deals with injuries and the rotation uncertainty, Fuentes' next outing could determine whether or not he remains with the big league club or returns to the minors for further development. All of his cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are up a whopping 168% collectively over the last 30 days. That's on 24 cards, totaling 236 sales. All right, let's take a look at his Chrome Prospect Auto first. This is in raw condition. Similar story to Chase Burns here in terms of you seeing that peak of this card coming down. It peaked out at 69 bucks, now most recently down to 36.50. We've got his Chrome Prospect Auto Refractor first. This one actually has come down to 45 bucks, had peaked out at $73.80. That's still a 200% increase, but again, look at the trajectory. And then lastly, we've got his Chrome Prospect Auto Speckle Refractor number to 299. That one topped out at 100 bucks, now starting to come down recently to $41. So these guys have been hot. Wanted to include them and show, because there is a lot of price appreciation in a pretty short term period, but it's important to be realistic. That's why we give that disclaimer at the beginning of the video as well. These aren't recommendations. Use the data, look at the trends on the charts and Market Movers to know which direction they're heading, up or down, to try to gauge and time it if that's what you're into. So at number 2 card this week, it is Didier Fuentes. All right, that brings us to the number 1 hot card this week, the one that surprised me. But before we get into it, make sure to check out Market Movers. You can go to marketmoversapp.com and check out all the different plans, sign up and get 7 days free, or you can go to the App Store and download it completely free. And did you know there's actually free versions of the app completely? No login, no membership required. Explore the sales history, comp any card, track sales data, and if you want to start adding your collection and doing so much more, there's a ton of powerful features. You got to go check out Market Movers. That's how we get all of this data. All right, without further ado, at number 1, it is Puka Nacua, the wide receiver for the Los Angeles Rams. Who saw this one coming? Timing-wise, there's so many different players. We know that football tends to start to heat up now, starting in July, up through the National as we head toward the regular season. I just didn't expect to see Puka Nacua at number 1. He's stepping into a star role for the Los Angeles Rams as he builds on his breakout success from his first 2 seasons. Following Cooper Kupp's departure, Nacua has embraced a leadership position and displayed sharper route running, cleaner breaks, and elite hands that consistently secures tough catches. He's kind of in that mold a little bit of like, I don't know, an Anquan Bolden almost, like playing in the slot and all over the field for the Rams. He's averaged 88.4 receiving yards per game over his first 2 seasons, and that consistent production has continued into minicamp and OTAs, where he looks more confident and more dominant than ever. Both on the field and in the locker room, Nacua is emerging as a cornerstone of the Rams offense and a key part of their rise in the NFC West. Now, there was the recent announcement that the Rams are bringing in Davante Adams, so it's interesting. We'll see how that plays out. We know that Matthew Stafford is a quarterback. I know this very well as a Lions fan, who likes to focus a lot of his throws into one wide receiver, predominantly. We saw that with Kelvin Johnson. We saw it with Cooper Kupp. We've seen it shift to Nacua, but bringing in a guy like Davante Adams, I'm interested to see what's that going to look like. Right now, Nacua is number 4 on the fantasy big boards for wide receivers heading into this coming season. Davante Adams is a little bit lower down on the list and has actually been kind of polarizing amongst the fantasy gurus and experts about where they think he should be drafted. So I'm curious to know, what do you think of Nacua's season upcoming, as well as of his cards, and we're going to take a look at some of those. And I'll tell you that all of his cards, as tracked by Market Movers, are up 27% collectively over the last 30 days. This one felt like the right number 1 because we're heading into football season, and a lot of those baseball players who were hot that we saw, again, have been coming down. So Nacua cemented the number 1 spot this week. If we take a look at his Donruss downtown, just his regular Donruss downtown, PSA 10, this card's up 28% in the last 30 days. So 30 days ago, you could have scooped one of these for $480. Now it's up to $615. We can take a look at his raw downtown. This one's up to $340. That's a 10.9% increase. Here's his Prism Laser rookie card in PSA 10 condition, Pop 1056. This one up 13% over the last 30 days. And finally, his Prism Silver PSA 9. This one's actually been seeing a lot of price appreciation. You could have scooped these as low as like $15 just a month ago, spiked up to $35, now at $28. So still very affordable. You know, collector card potentially, even something with a lot of liquidity, as these sell very often. You see 16 sales in the last 30 days. Now, what's really interesting for me, when I look at some of these cards, I like to hit like the 365-day view just to see what's going on. And you can see Nacua has actually come down a ton over this past year on most of his cards. So the hype was even higher last year, which could mean that there's more potential for his cards to appreciate back up, or it could mean that overall he's sort of fallen out of hobby favor from the initial early career hype cycles, and maybe now he's sort of settling into that middle tier unless he has a big breakout season. What do you think of Puka Nacua and his prospects overall? Let me know down in the comments, and as always, really appreciate you watching this video. If you would like, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, and until next time, happy investing, keep on collecting, and make sure to have fun.